Apparently I can loot this for whatever that's worth. What? Why? Hold on. Why? Why am I fighting Ignis? Where did he get all these sweet spells from? Critical miss, buddy. You, serious. It's okay, luckily we can just keep doing this. Alright, let's just see if this does anything. I don't necessarily want to kill Ignis. This huge crystal radiates a pulsating spectral light as it hovers above the crater in the middle of the room. The rhythm of its pulses reminds you of a heartbeat, but slow and sickly. Light from the crystal touches the edges of the room like fingers, each ray of light casting a glow on the ruined faces of the statues surrounding it. As you touch the crystal, there is a flash of heat, an orange-white light, and you whip your hand back. The crystal burns like the heat from Ignis's flames. From within the crystal, a sickly white-blue light dances and flickers like fire. Oh no! Alright, my dude, but we've got to get off some good sneak. Oh, I wasn't sneaking. Okay. Oh, and Ignis has all my health pots. Can you, like, hurt him?
Die.
Critical hits.
Die.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Die.
Keep going with those crits. It's just you and Fireboy now. Alright, buddy, he's barely injured. Come on.
The skies shall be flames, and all life shall be as torches.
Die.
The skies shall be flames, and all life shall be as torches.
Damn. Damn.
Hit him. All you've got to do is just hit him once. Come on, buddy. Thank you. Again. And again. A critical miss. Far out.
Die.
Oh, Ignis. Okay, so I've actually played a more or less up until the very last boss battle, but it's been difficult to say the least. What I've learnt is that having an average character, which is what I've got here with all my stats, is actually incredibly useless. Like, you either want to be a fighter and up your like strength, dexterity and constitution, or you want to be more of like an intellect sage kind of character, which is intellect, wisdom and charisma. And when I say you want them high, you like want them 20 odd plus, which I don't have at all. But it's all good. I've sort of figured out what I can do and different options that I have, so I've just reloaded to this point. Have I already looted that? I don't rightly remember. I mean, it's got nothing in it, but I don't have. Oh no, hold on. Is that all of Ignis's stuff? Is that it there? No. Oh, but that's perfect. That's exactly what I need. So
This is it.
something else which I've realized. Ignis is the one who had all my health pots that I bought. I should have reloaded when I walked through the portal and didn't give them to the nameless one, but I didn't do that, which is like the biggest regret of my life, especially because Ignis is the only character that you can't loot. So all of his stuff is just gone. Alright, so picking up that sounding stone though has given us, it will open up an option later on. There is a moment of dizziness as you touch the crystal, then a slow chill passes through your body and you discover that your muscles have locked, your hand frozen to the crystal's surface. There is a moment of silence, then sharp pains splinter through your body like fractures. You feel as if your very being has been turned to ice, then shattered. Fall into darkness. He has awakened. Finally, I thought I would die again waiting for him to rise. Perhaps you will still die. Never forget, I watched you thieves, you killers all 3 of you. Have a care how you speak to me, you deranged wreck. He was fortunate to reach here with all those traps you scattered throughout the plains. I swear, if I could have crossed the years to put you out of your misery, I would. The 2 of you be silent. Let us make sure he is all right and save the arguments for later. Who are you all? By the hells, he's lost his memories. Damnation, he's useless to us now. Calm yourself, he's only disoriented, as were we all. Give him a moment to get his bearings. You are all thieves, wearing my body, and you will give it back. I am at the limits of my patience with your howling. Be silent, or... This arguing avails us nothing. Give him his space, leave him be. Time is no longer in our favor. I will not stand here and squander another moment while our adversary is no doubt hunting for us. We waited long enough for him to awaken. I will speak to him now. The man before you resembles you, but he carries himself more like a force than a man. His eyes are watching you carefully, and as you study him, you feel he is studying you. So it has come to this. Who are you? I will not surrender my name to you or any man. The man's voice is rough like yours. It rings strangely in your ears. As for who I am, you should be asking that yourself. You are one of my incarnations. You made it here with my clues to guide you. We are separate incarnations? How is that possible? The incarnation is silent for a moment, then his expression changes to contempt. If there is anything I have hated about you, it is your countless questions, your desperate fumbling for meaning and answers. The man's voice is like a hatchet, and anger flickers across his features. The time for questions is past. Now you will listen to me. I was the first to breach this fortress, and whatever it is that awaits us here was somehow able to defeat me. It will not best me a second time. You sound as if you intend to fight whatever it is that lurks here. The man gives you a strange look, then studies you. Of course, that's the only reason we're speaking now. I'll need you to be the shell, but your mind must be my mind. Do you understand me? You mean you intend to possess me?
Updated my journal.
Yes. He glances around at the spiked boars, then turns back to face you. We cannot leave this place in pieces. Only one may leave. What are you talking about? You must surrender your will to me. Your knowledge and your skills, whatever little you've managed to accumulate in your life, may prove useful. He sizes you up again. It ultimately will be but a fraction of my power, but it might have its uses. Okay, I'm just gonna get bearings first, because we'll talk to the other ones. Disclaimer, I do have, or I am coming down with everyone's favorite virus, so reading is actually quite difficult, so just bear with me if I'm not necessarily sounding enthused or, I don't know, different sounds in my voice. It's purely just because I'm struggling to read. Okay, so we'll talk to the good incarnation first. The man before you resembles you, but his face seems calmer somehow. He gives you a slight smile as you approach, and he nods as if in approval. Are you all right? Who are you? Have we ever had a name, or was it just the first of us? The man chuckles softly. Know that I am your ally in this. I, like these others, have died my death in your mind, and this figment is all that remains. But who are you? His smile fades and he looks at you with concern. This must be disorienting for you. Let me try and explain. I am one of your incarnations. I was lost. Now I am here again. How is that possible? I do not know. Whatever you touched within the fortress has brought pieces of you to the surface. He pauses for a moment, thinking. One of the others may know the means of how this came to be, but it is beyond me. If you are a part of me, there are things that I must know. Ask. I have had countless lives. Why are there only 3 incarnations here? I do not know. Perhaps we were the 3 pieces that were somehow still present in your mind. Present? How? I do not know for sure, but I would guess that when we die, traces of the former personality may remain in your mind. And I know that sometimes we may make ourselves felt. How? When you're about to place yourself in danger, or were close to a realization, for example, I found that I could stir, help prod you in the right direction. So you were the crawling sensation I kept feeling in the back of my skull. I would be at a loss to describe how it felt to you, but it is possible, yes. What was your life like? It was quiet and long and filled with much of the pain and the joys that one would expect in life. I served as a cartographer for a time and I walked the plains for several years. How did you die? In the end, as I travelled upon the fields of Bitopia, terrible shadows took on life as I lay sleeping. I died as I felt their claws upon me. They are the shades of all those who died in our place. The man looks pained. Yes, I know that now. One cannot be in this place of regrets and not feel their agony. Alright, there's a particular question that I'm after. Do you know why I wanted to become immortal? No, I do not. I think it was done out of fear. Perhaps one of the other ones no. What makes you think it was done out of fear? The man smiles slightly, but there is no humor in it. If anything, it is a sad smile. What man wishes to die? He shakes his head slowly. But only the first of us will ever truly know the reason that brought us to this state. Before you said that when we die, traces are left in the mind. That's what caused you to emerge, right? My understanding may not be complete, but yes, that seems to be the case. And we may make ourselves felt in small ways. So is it possible that the first of us, the real one of us, before all the incarnations, might still be buried somewhere in my mind? The expression on the incarnation's face flickers for just a moment, but it is like a window and you suddenly realize who you are speaking to. You were the first of us. The incarnation's eyes take on a haunted look and his gaze turns away from you. I know what you are thinking, but it is not the case. You think that knowing the mind of the first of us will somehow help you here, in this place. It will not. But why? I have so many questions that you can answer. Why did we become immortal? Why? Because if we die, truly die, the incarnation looks up at you and his eyes are like steel. Death's kingdom will not be paradise, not for us. If you spoke to these others that were here, know that a fraction of the evil of their lives is but a drop of water compared to the evil of mine. That life, that one life, even without the thousands of others, has given a seat in the lower plane for eternity. But you seem so much calmer, more well-intentioned. I became that way, yes, because for me, his voice takes on a strange echo. It is regret that may change the nature of a man. He sighs. But it was too late. I was already damned. I found that changing my nature was not enough. I needed more time, and I needed more life. So I came to the greatest of the Grey Sisters and asked her for a boon, to try and help me live long enough to rectify all the damage I had done, to make me immortal. And Ravel did, but when she first tested your immortality and killed you, you forgot everything. Everything. He looks broken, and the planes have been dying ever since. The crime is great, and the blame is mine. There are so many questions I have for you. Who are you? What was your life like? Who? The incarnation shakes his head, cutting you off. When I become no more, when I merge with you, you will have the answers you seek. It may take some time to sort them out, but they are there. He smiles ruefully. It is difficult to communicate a life with words. Very well then, we shall become as one. Are you ready? One last thing, just this. The incarnation pauses for a moment, searching your features. Before I return to oblivion, there is something I would know. What do you wish to know? He studies your eyes, his expression somber. Did you live your life? The brief life you had? In the end, was it worth it? I've been traveling too much to really appreciate it. Perhaps we shall see after this matter has come to a close. He nods, and for a moment you think he's going to say something, but then he collapses, the life running out of him and into yours. As he falls to the black stones, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull, making you shiver, and you know the incarnation is no more. Okay, after every conversation, I just need to take a bit of a break. Alright, paranoid incarnation, let's go. Who are you? Know that you will not last long in this place. Thief! Spittle flies from the man's mouth, and his face twists in a maddening grin. Mazes and regrets and death are all that are here. You're wasting your time speaking to that one. His thoughts are all angles and spite and nothing more. Stop wasting time. There is much the two of us must speak of. Thief! The incarnation's hands twist as if strangling the other. I will feel the bones in your neck snap beneath my fingers. Take my body back. He turns to you. Thief, you wear my body like a cloak, and you shame me. I am no thief. I stole nothing from you. You stole everything. I awoke on the streets of the Ring City, and all who saw me knew me. He takes a rasping breath. All that you had done, all that you had harmed, they were waiting for me, blaming me, hurting me, until I couldn't take the voices anymore. His fingers grasped at the air, and had to make them silent. You were the one who left the trap in the sensory stone for me, weren't you? And the dodecahedron journal with the traps. He affixes you with a wary eye. It seems just looking at you is making him uncomfortable. In order for me to leave this place, you must become part of me. Will you do so? I would rather die. Okay, there are things I would want to know. In the language of Uyo, let us speak in private, just the two of us. As you speak the language of Uyo, the incarnation's eyes widen and he stares at you. After a moment of silence, he replies in the same language. Only I know the language of Uyo. How do you know it? You are correct. You are the only one who knows the language of Uyo, so if I know the language of Uyo, I must be you. He is silent, staring at you. It is these others who are not you, for they do not know the language of the Uyo. He nods slowly. I hear you. This place confuses one's perception. We are both you, and now we must become as one. He looks frightened. To your surprise, he reverts to normal speech, and all the inflections in his voice are gone. It is calm, level, and much like your own. I no longer wish to live like this. You have suffered much. You were born into a world where nothing made sense, where strangers claimed they knew you, they blamed you for things you knew nothing of, and they tried to hurt you. He looks at you, and you watch as the incarnation loses its mad gleam and his eyes become more like your own. Yes. I will protect you now. You will know peace, for that is all you have ever wanted, isn't it? The incarnation relaxes at your words, his eyes dimming as he locks gazes with you. There is the faintest of whispers, and he falls to the black stones. With his collapse, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. And there is a flood of memories and strength and emotions, and you steady yourself, dizzy for a moment. Then your vision clears, and you are yourself once more.
I feel stronger.
I mean, just for the lols, let's go intellect. Okay, before we talk to this dude, we need to use a whole bunch of charms just to up my intelligence. Okay, so an intelligence of 25 is perfect. Who are you? The incarnation is silent for a moment, then his expression changes to contempt. Oh yes, we've already done this. You intend to possess me, what are you talking about? If you're one of my incarnations, then I have questions for you. I will indulge you, but only for a while longer. You are the one who led Dianara to her death. The man's eyes narrow. What of it? All of it was done with a purpose. Why did Dianara have to die? Dianara? That girl had little sense of the planes in her, and that was what I needed her for. You see, the dustmen have it right. Sometimes when you feel too much passion, you cling too tightly to life to let go. And neither did Dianara, as I hoped she would. Why did Dianara have to die? I needed someone to be my eyes here on the negative material plane, to serve as a scout and try and find out who my killer was. Only the dead can survive here for long, so Dianara had to be sacrificed so that she could become something other than she was. A tricky business, but it worked. She helped you, didn't she? You didn't have to kill her. He looks at you silently for a moment, then his sneer returns. And that is why you will be defeated if you confront our killer. It is because you are weak. You do not see that some things are necessary. That wasn't necessary. It was convenient for you, and you should have looked for other solutions. You dare lecture me? Women have always walked our paths with us, whether Dianara or Ravel or any other woman, and they have suffered, and it was always their choice. Dianara would have died for me if I'd asked her to. There was no crime. There are other things I would want to know. Were you responsible for the tattoos on my back, the ones I read when I woke up in the mortuary? The directions? He nods, irritated. Of course I was responsible. I knew there was a chance I might fail here and lose my memories. I wanted future incarnations to benefit from some guidance, so I had the directions stitched on my back. Since such things like journals, he snarls as if angry at himself, tend to be lost so easily. The directions were kind of vague, though. Are you a fool? The incarnation looks exasperated. The directions needed to be vague. I couldn't spell out exactly what was happening to us, so I left a signpost. What do you think would have happened if a dustman had read them? Or someone even more balmy? How quickly do you think we would have been buried alive or cremated? Very well. What about me seeking out for Rod, though? Why him? For Rod? The incarnation thinks for a moment. Oh yes, the trash king with all the tough bloods that thought I was easy prey. He smiles slightly as if recalling a pleasant memory. After only a little bloodletting, I struck a bargain with him. He would see to it that if his men found me, they would take me safely to the mortuary. And of course, I needed the eyes and hands of his men to scour the catacombs beneath Sigil for me. What for? A sphere. Made of bronze, ugly, feels like an egg to the touch and it smells of rotten custard, right? Yes, I told Farad it was the only thing that would save his miserable life. What a snivelling little dodger he was. The incarnation smiles at you. You see, the old guy was destined to end up on the Pillar of Skulls when he died, and he was desperately trying to weasel out of it. So I told him that there was an item beneath Sigil that would save him from his fate if he could only find it. But it wouldn't save him. It was just something you wanted him to find. Of course it was useless to him. One cannot dodge fate so easily. He looks at you irritated. However, nothing motivates a man faster than telling him what he seeks will save his soul from eternal damnation. I intended to take it from him after he found it. It's just that searching for it myself would have taken too long. He smiles again. And why should I do it when I could have someone else hunt for me? Actually, he ended up tricking me into finding it for him. Why was it so important? Important? Do you not know? The incarnation becomes silent for a moment. Do you have it with you? Yes, I do. I brought it with me. You have it? The incarnation's eyes flare. Then your life had some use after all. You watch his eyes flicker as if thinking, calculating. When we merge, I will see about finding a means to unlock it. Perhaps all is not lost. What is the sphere? Why is it important? It is a dead sensory stone. Do you know what it contains? He smiles eagerly. It holds the last experiences of the first of us. When we were one man and not a string of incarnations. His voice drops. If there is some way of unlocking it, I will be able to see inside his mind. And see why all this happened. Yes, the incarnation's face has become somber. It is the answer I have always sought. Why this happened. Why we became immortal. He studies you. When we merge, I will see about finding a means to unlock it. Perhaps all is not lost. I have no intention of merging with you. Do you intend to fight me on this? The man seems more amused than anything else. You are no match for me. There's little point in resisting. Try me. So be it then. His eyes become grey like mist, and he gives a slight smile as if in anticipation. We shall see what your mind has in store. You lock gazes with him. His eyes are like stones, and they start to drag you down. Lock gazes with him. As you swim in the corridors of his mind, the first emotion you encounter is surprise, and his eyes widen. He is not absorbing you. Your will is stronger, and it is consuming him. You feel him desperately trying to pull back, but he cannot. He is too weak, and your will blocks his retreat while drawing him deeper into your subconscious. This is the last time we shall ever speak. Return to death, where you belong. He looks incredulous for a moment, then he disintegrates, and you feel a rush of knowledge pouring through you, fighting to the surface. It's almost too much to absorb at once, and you find yourself disoriented. So much knowledge, so many experiences that... And as quickly as it occurred, the rush subsides and you steady yourself. The bits of knowledge swirl about in your mind, and you will make sense of them later. For now, only one piece of knowledge is important. The Incarnation did not know how to leave this place. He lied to trick you into surrendering. Damn it.